Yeah.
I gotta
All right,
close my
hold on,
calls.
guys. You're gonna hear some
Yes.
echoing, just so you
Okay.
know, because I'm doing some self-testing here. Open Clubhouse, because nobody's in here at the moment, so I need to.
Yeah, my assistant will be helping me for a little bit.
Okay.
So I
I'm your host.
Hmm.
cool.
Yep.
Okay, that's working.
Um,
Good.
I played about with my experimentation earlier, so I have my pie made, and we're gonna see how it tastes.
I hope it tastes good.
Well, the bit that I got on my finger tasted good.
That's all.
That's
That's awesome.
generally the way it works.
Hold on, guys. Let me do this. Thank you. Okay, this is just a test.
And then after you have made yours, the ID, then we'll do my tips, and I'll tell people what I did.
Hmm.
Okay,
You
are
want me
you
to do
hearing me
that
double?
between each one?
I'm hearing you in Zoom and in Clubhouse.
Okay, good, good, good. All right, then I'm all done here.
Hello.
Hello.
Tom, terrific.
I made it.
What did you say, Heidi?
I said, do you want me to do that after I make the burgers and then after I do the cloud pie?
Yeah, after the cloud pie more than anything, because the burgers is not really uh, um any adaptations needed.
Okay.
So, real quick, Heidi, I'm to make sure that time is not a problem. I gave us the extra half hour,
Okay.
so that way, we have time. I don't know if that we need the full 2 hours, but I decided to just kind of meet in the middle. So,
So it's an hour and a half, Herbie.
yes,
Okay, because on the schedule it said 1.25.
2-5. Well, with that, yeah, an hour and
But I'm
15
I'm cool
minutes.
with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I forgot that means
Mhm.
that. No, I forgot that 2-5 means 15 minutes. It's three
No,
zero
don't
bits.
worry. Whatever you
Well,
need.
technically, it is supposed to be an hour and 15 minutes. Let's leave it at that because you said an hour, and I wanted to just. Sometimes,
I don't think we're gonna need more than that anyway, Herbie.
yeah, all
It's
right,
okay
Having
if you do. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
okay. Well, I
ha-
try to be, especially with guest facilitators. I just want to make sure that we're on the safe
yeah.
side.
Well, I the reason I'm able to say is because I did the stuff this morning.
All right,
And yeah, you're not really gonna need longer than that unless there's a whole lot of questions.
right. Well, sometimes it's the
Right.
explaining of things, and I don't know what we'll get with questions. That's why I was taking out an insurance policy. Let's put it that way.
It's better to have longer than we need than
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
need longer than we
Then
have.
not be long enough, right?
Yep. So
Exactly. Hi,
I'm
Tom.
going to talk to my Tori and I are going to talk to our hosts for just a second, guys.
Okay.
So we've actually got Monica and Tom hosting for us today.
Which is really funny.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, because for those that don't know,
Even if
Monica's
it's the
husband
wrong
is named
Tom.
Tom. Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
no, that's why I was laughing.
I know. I just couldn't resist
I know, it
that.
was great.
I always love it if you two get brought up together. One day we're gonna have Jane and Jane, Meryl and Merle, or Merle and Meryl, and Monica and Tom, or vice
Well, that
versa.
happened in that happened in a few minutes ago. Merle and Merle. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
they
but I'm
came up.
talking about all three combinations in one day in
Oh, I
one
Not to
got you.
call.
mention the double
Wow.
D's.
But anyway, so how it's going to work is Heidi's going to I'll do opening introductions. We will have our streamer, which will be Deb. I haven't looked to see if she's here already or not, but so Monica, if you can play the raise hand instructions 2 minutes before the top of the hour, that would be
Yep.
good.
I'm actually going to do it 3 minutes before,
That's
if
fine.
that's okay.
That's fine. Deb will play her disclaimer. Tori and I will start talking. We'll introduce Heidi. We will create breaks for questions. So we'll just kind of alternate between the two. So I'll ask if there's any raised hands in Zoom. Then on Clubhouse, Tom,
Can
I'm.
I insert
You
something
can
for a
insert
moment?
something.
Okay, after Monica does the Zoom instructions, right before Deb plays her thing, can Tom then also tell people in Clubhouse what they need to do?
He can if we think it's worth it. Let's see. Do we have people in our audience right now? I'm just looking.
I
Oh,
just
we
feel
do.
like if Zoom's getting instructions, then Clubhouse should too.
Yep.
So
If we
just
if
tell them that if they want to be able to raise their hand to ask a question, they can press the request to speak button on the lower right hand of the screen.
Yeah, and that
Something
comes
like that.
exactly when.
well, I was actually going to suggest let's do that when we actually introduce Clubhouse a little bit later on in the call, like just so that we have a
But
build up of audience.
we can do it then if you prefer. I just think that at some
Yeah,
point it should happen.
I mean, no, we do want to do that. So we can just say, so Tom, I think what we'll do is when we introduce Clubhouse, then when I introduce you, and I'll just say, and now Tom Terrific is going to make sure that everybody in Clubhouse knows how they can participate. And so, two things I think I'll have you say is tell them that the raise where the raise hand is, they'll come up on stage muted, and then the mute button is also on the bottom left. Sorry, bottom right. I'm confusing it with Zoom. And I think that's good enough for now. I
Yeah,
had
that
been,
works.
And then I don't have
Just
to
so that
just
they
do
have an
anything.
opportunity.
I don't have to do anything except just watch for people and then bring them up as they put
exactly,
their
and
hands
then
up. Right?
And
take
if
them
they're
off.
being unmuted and talking when they're not called on, then mute them.
Would you give me a quick tutorial on how to take people off once they're done? How do I do that? I'm not
Double
sure.
Double
tap on
tap
their
on their
name.
name and
Double
then
tap
click
on their
on move
name.
to audience, which is down on the lower right of your screen.
Yep,
Okay, that sounds simple enough.
it is.
I think I might
If
be able to get through this.
I think you will. If you run into any problems, just let me know. I mean, I have moderator powers, but I'm going to be completely hands off unless you run into trouble. There, Tom.
And Deb is here, just so you know.
All right. And welcome, Nicole, to our Clubhouse audience. I do believe this is the first cooking corner you have attended. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
And apparently Lily and Logan have a lot to say today, so I apologize for that.
One of my assistants, my two-footed assistant's is going to be trying to keep the four-legged assistants out of the kitchen.
And
But
Chanel,
there's
you are on
cream,
stage.
Mommy.
Yeah, Tom let me up because I had my hand raised, and I just
saw
wanted
that.
to say, Tom, you can practice by moving me back, or I can I can help you if needed. But I'm sure you've got this thing.
Okay, are
So
you going to be in here most of the time, or where are you going to
I
be?
don't know.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you see if you can move me back if you want?
Okay, let me
Hold
see.
on,
I
before
just
you
wanted to
move
say
to
hi.
Chanel. Hold on, before
Okay.
you move Chanel.
What?
There, Chanel. That way, if Tom has trouble, you can be helping him out. That way, I can focus just on keeping things connected and the call.
Are you
rolling
sure?
along.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
but only if Tom has any trouble.
Okay.
So move her back and then let her back up on the stage
Okay,
again.
let me see
Yep.
if I.
What?
And Chanel, I haven't forgotten about your breakfast. So
I
I
should
think I
think
did
not.
it.
Hello, everybody.
hello, Minerva.
Hello.
I mean Diane.
I love it. I love it.
I hope everybody likes the 2 recipes for today when you guys are actually able to eat them.
Well, I'll be getting to eat mine after.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna taste test my version of the cloud pie. That's why I did it this morning on the call.
Cool.
It's just time to.
Yeah, Dino's hanging out in the kitchen somewhere.
Okay, if everybody
Yep.
can mute, please, I'm going to play the participation instructions.
You have entered a standard Zoom room on the Zoom platform. Here are a few tips to assist you. First, you must accept that the call is being recorded before you will be allowed to unmute. To do this on a PC, tab to the Got It button and press Enter. If the button isn't on the main screen, press F6 until it appears. From the Mac, once the meeting opens and you hear the call is being recorded, hitting Enter will activate the Got It button. From the app, swipe to OK to accept the call is being recorded. If you're using a phone, no action is needed. Now, here are some important commands. In Zoom on a PC, use Alt-Y to raise or lower your hand. To mute or unmute, press Alt-A. On the Mac, raise and lower your hand with Option Y. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing Command-Shift-A. In the app, to raise your hand, look under the More button in the lower right corner. Mute is in the lower left corner. Both of these toggle the settings on and off. From a phone keypad, press star 9 to raise or lower your hand, and use star 6 to mute and unmute.
The opinions expressed on the ACB Media Network are those of the content providers and should not be viewed as an endorsement of any product or service. Nor does it reflect the views of the American Council of the Blind, its elected officials, or its staff.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening, actually. And we are getting some background noise. If everybody on Zoom could mute, s'il vous plaît. Please, por favor. Whatever your language of choice is, please mute. As clock chimes are pretty, but there we go. All right, welcome. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because I actually happen to know that we have a Clubhouse member who is way on the other side of the globe. So welcome, everyone, to Herbie's Cooking Corner, and of course, whenever you're listening to this archive. I am joined, of course, by my wonderful co-facilitator, the one and only Twinkling Tori. Hello, Tori.
Hello, Herbie.
And I've been kicked out of my kitchen once again and told to move over as somebody else is going to show us how we get it done. And you know her because she has been a very frequent participant of previous calls here. And I believe she's also well known in the crafty circles.
Get out of the kitchen. Oh.
And that would be none other than Heidi, aka Spider Woman. Welcome.
Hello.
Heidi.
Hello.
How is everybody?
We are doing great. How about you?
We are doing very well this morning.
And I first of all just want to quickly mention our wonderful hosts today. We actually have two of them. We have Monica in Zoom and Tom in Clubhouse. And for the record, it is not Monica's Tom who is hosting for us in Clubhouse. It is a different Tom. And Tom, terrific. Do you just want to remind the Clubhouse people how they can participate if they have any questions?
Yes, yes, sir, Mr. Herbie. I will do that. If you are here in Clubhouse, I don't think there's anybody here right now, but the way that works is there's a button, there's a request to speak in the lower right-hand corner. You will double tap that, and one of us will bring you up on stage. You will come up muted, and then when it's your time to talk, then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So there you go.
All right, very good. No fiddling around there, Tom. Excellent.
That's right. We're not fiddling around this morning. We're getting down to business.
We are. Okay, I need to fix my notifications here because they seem to be going off all over the place. I do apologize. So today, like I said, I've been taken out of the kitchen as the lead person, which has turned out to actually be a good thing because aside from technical issues with grocery deliveries, that's another story in itself. I was told we may or may not have water this morning. Right now we seem to, which is good, but it's a little challenging to cook if you don't have water. But Heidi is here, and she is going to show us how to make mushroom burgers, and then we're going to go up into the stratosphere and have strawberry cloud pie. So, Heidi, why don't you take it away?
Okay, the first one we're going to do is the portobello mushroom burgers because that actually involves more measuring. So for the ingredients, we're going to need a third a cup of balsamic vinegar, a half cup of olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic,
Dried rosemary or 2 tablespoons?
1/2 teaspoon dried thyme and rosemary, or 2 tablespoons of fresh,
1 teaspoon of salt,
1 teaspoon of salt,
1/8 teaspoon,
1/8 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper,
and 4 portobello mushrooms.
and then 4 portobello mushrooms. In my case, the smallest we could get was a 6-pack. So ours is going to be a little bit different.
Mine too.
So at least I'm not the only one. All right. So what I have is I've got 2 actual containers for my mushrooms, because one won't work. And so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to wipe down your mushrooms just to make sure there's no dirt or debris on them. And then my assistant actually is going to help me with the marinade, and to help me keep the animals out of the kitchen. When I need him. So right now I'm just taking a damp paper towel, and I'm just wiping down the tops of the mushrooms, and I'm putting them face up, gill side up into the container. My earbud falls out of my ear. Apparently I'm going to need a bigger container. I'll fix that in a minute. Yeah. So got one more mushroom to wipe down real quick. And if your mushrooms do have a bit of the stem in them, you want to take that out because you're not going to use them. And then we're going to take a small bowl, and we are going to put the marinade ingredients in it. Help me. So it's 1/3 cup of balsamic vinegar. I'm actually going to have my assistant do this while I get a bigger container for my mushrooms. So it's 1/3 cup of balsamic. Remember, you got to do 1.5 on. And then 1/2 cup of oil. That'd be and then you're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. And then 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary and thyme. And then your salt and your pepper. you do salt and pepper on?
I'm working on it.
Okay. And then you're going to mix all of the ingredients up. And then you whisk everything together. And when it's all mixed together, you're going to take a tablespoon of your marinade, and you're going to put a tablespoon in each mushroom top. And then you are going to flip them over after you do that with all of them. And then you're going to pour the rest of the marinade all over the tops of them. And then you're going to cover up your pan or your Tupperware container, whatever you're using. And you're going to put them in the refrigerator and let them marinate for at least an hour before you cook them. And to cook them, you can either broil them underneath your stove, you can grill them, or you can actually microwave them. And when you microwave them, because that's the way I've done it a couple of times, you microwave them for 30 seconds. And when you do that, you just lift them straight out of the marinade and you put them on a plate and you just microwave them and eat them like you would a regular burger. And for the most part, that's all there is to the portobello mushroom burgers.
Unless you're having an issue trying to open up the balsamic vinegar.
So are there any questions so far?
I don't see any.
Okay, so there's no questions.
So then, Tori, did you?
Actually, sorry, Diane has a question.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Heidi and everybody. Those portobello mushrooms seem to have like a hairy stuff inside of them. In the mushroom, along with the stem, there seems to be like hairy stuff. I don't know what it is.
That's just mushroom fiber. It's fine.
But
The gills, yep.
Okay, number one, are you, do you take that out when you wash the mushrooms over the top? Or do you just leave it?
You can just leave it.
Yeah, you can leave the gills in. It's the stems that you want to remove.
Okay. Also, of course, the stems are as good as the rest of the mushroom. What do you do? Anything in particular with those?
Not with this particular recipe.
But you can always
chop it up and
chop it up and fry it up with something else, like stick them in an omelet or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
We have a couple more in Zoom. Elizabeth.
Hi, everybody. If you did not want to broil these, you could probably roast them in a Pyrex in the same pan that you marinated in. If you put it in a Pyrex to begin with to marinate it, it would sort of save you the time, and then you could just stick them in a 400-degree oven for oh, I don't know, I want to say 15 minutes. It kind of depends on the size of your mushroom, but you'll be able to figure it out pretty easily.
That was my intention, actually. I have mine marinating in a Pyrex dish, and that was my intention.
I don't broil so much, but I just bake them. I just leave them right in the, and I don't even like, as long as you've got it right in the Pyrex dish and you've got the marinade soaking into it, you don't have to pour anything into anything. And
Exactly. You could
you
just
know,
worry
I
about
just,
when they're cooked, take them out and stick and eat them.
yeah, I would take the Pyrex dish out of the refrigerator a few minutes before you're going to cook it. I know you're supposed to be able to go right from refrigerator to oven, but if you get it up to a little bit warmer,
Yeah, take the chill off of the glass.
yeah, it does protect. Be kind to your Pyrex. Your Pyrex is working hard for you. Be nice to it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's good to know about Pyrex, by the way, is when you have a hot Pyrex dish, please let it cool down before you expose it to dishwater, because every once in a while you'll get a hairline crack and your Pyrex will shatter and you will not be a happy camper. So treat your Pyrex respectfully and it will serve you well for years.
And that's another reason as well, the potential crack issue, to give it say 10 minutes or so after you take it out of the fridge before you stick it in the oven.
Absolutely. Let it cool down, let it get to room temperature, let it warm up, let it cool down. You want to work with Pyrex that is not freezing cold or scalding hot if you're going to be around water or if you're going to suddenly chuck it in the oven. So, and Pyrex is great, by the way, people. I really support getting Pyrex. It's very useful. Thank you, Tori. I'm glad another Pyrex fan is among us. And these are great, by the way. Once you get, even if you don't think of these as burgers, these are great. And you could stuff those. You could chop the mushroom bits up, you know, the stems, and mix them up with breadcrumbs and herbs or something and stick them back, or brown rice or something, whatever you want to mix them up with, vegetables and cheese, shove them back in the mushrooms, bake the whole thing and eliminate the buns and just have these incredible
or even
stuff.
do that and still have the buns.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can just, you know, stuffed portobellos are fabulous.
They are.
Thanks, Liz.
We have next Merle.
Go ahead, Merle.
Good morning, everybody. My question is, I went into tried to call in for the recipe, you know, for the ingredients, and it came up with Sunday night's stroganoff and didn't have anything about what you guys were doing.
Okay, first of all, the stroganoff is not what's actually being done on Sunday. Courtney's in charge of that phone number, and she's dealing with trying to keep up with a lot at the moment, and she's a bit behind on getting that updated.
If it's still on Stroganoff, it's not been updated in months, so I would not even rely on that.
Like we say about the daily schedule, your best bet is to keep an eye on emails.
Yeah, if you want the ingredients list, your best bet is always going to be the daily schedule that comes out every Tuesday. If you're an event planner, you do get a sneak peek for the because we get the event thing that Colby sends out over the weekend. If you're an event planner, if you're not, well, that's too bad. But excuse me. But anybody can facilitate a call.
Nice.
Oh, do I have to? I thought we established last week that that's why Kayla was getting so much more questions, because she's nicer than us.
Well, she is nicer than you, but I thought you wanted questions.
Yes. Oh, she is nicer than me. Okay. Am I getting thrown under the bus on my own call here?
But he's nicer than me, so you know, he's not.
It's all relative, right?
It's all relative. It's all right, and it depends on which days. Some days we're extra different, you know.
But
anyway,
yeah.
Also, Courtney is actually making banana cake on Sunday.
Yes, and that sounds really good too. I might have to try it.
Yum.
So yep, she'll be making banana cake on Monday, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, don't rely on the phone thing. Just if you see it, you get the emails, right, Merle? Well, because you're on here.
Well, I don't. I get the emails for the ACB, but I don't get the cooking ones. I haven't signed up for that.
Okay, but the ACB emails contain the ingredients list for every call that I have.
Oh, okay.
For Tuesday.
Well, I was just checking to see if I could get them off of there and have
no.
You know. Alrighty.
You cannot,
That's
and
all.
I do not have the time or the inclination to set up a separate system. So if
Well,
you would like to do, if somebody else would like to volunteer to do that, then
then I'm sure Courtney would appreciate it.
yeah, but we have the
Alrighty.
emails for that, and I'm also bad about sometimes getting the stuff to Courtney anyway. So there you go. That's why your best bet is the Tuesday emails from the ACB events if you want
Yeah.
an actual ingredients list. I do try to get the final recipe to Courtney afterwards, but there you
Which
go.
unfortunately it does make it difficult for you to be able to cook along, but most people tend to just listen and cook later anyways. So.
That's what I do. That's what I usually do too. So that's why
So
I
there you
thought,
go.
well, I just gotta go on that call and check it out because I've never did that before, and then it didn't work. So
Yep.
alrighty, that's all for me. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Merle.
Yep. You can phone a friend if you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but don't phone the recipe. And
We do have another question in Zoom. I'm not sure if there's any in Clubhouse.
I was going to say, before we take that one, should we see
Yeah.
if Tom's got any hands over there?
I don't see any hands at this time. Thank you. We got,
Alright, well,
we
just
got
a
people here,
reminder-
but nobody's,
Yep. So just a reminder to those of you in the clubhouse, if you have any questions about today's recipes, at any time raise your hand and we will get you on stage and we will get to you, I promise. And also, just a quick reminder, because we do have some new people in Clubhouse, you can get archives of my previous calls. They are available on the ACB podcasts, which is actually a little bit more up to date probably than my YouTube channel, but there's quite a bit on there on my YouTube as well. Just look for Herbie's Cooking Corner on YouTube and you will see the playlist. That has quite a few calls in there that take us from Kayla's Homemade Hamburger Buns, which just recently got uploaded, to ranch chicken, Christmas cookies, breakfast. I do have quite a variety of stuff on there that I have done. So
With more to come.
With more to come. So you've got at least 14 hours worth of entertainment on that playlist alone. So
okay, so who was our hand then, Monica?
Jane.
Hey, Jane.
Hi, from the mushrooms. How did they become? I've never had a mushroom burger, so how did they become mushroom patties?
Well, basically, because of the shape of a portobello, it's a big flat mushroom. So just basically, you once you've marinated it, you cook it, and then you stick it in a bun, and it's a burger. Because that's what you're calling it. So you leave the caps of the portobellos whole, and they are about the size of smallish burger patties.
Okay, next we'll go to Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
Why do they call it a strawberry cloud pie? Is it just because it looks like a cloud?
It's just a cute name, pie. But we're dealing with the mushroom burgers for a minute, Stephanie. So we'll get to that after, but it's just a cute name.
With the red, it turns with the red food coloring, it will turn the topping pink.
All right. Well, we know that Stephanie's mind is on dessert, so there you go.
And Liz has another question.
Okay, Liz.
It's kind of a general comment. If you happen to be out of something, like you're out of the rosemary, or you've got some other kind of vinegar, it is always possible. Marinades are very forgiving. And by the way, this marinade you could use to bake chicken with or tofu with or fish. So marinades are really great to know how to make. And basically they tend to be oil, vinegar, and herbs. So think salad dressing. Basically, you're roasting stuff with salad dressing on it. You can roast vegetables. You can put stuff on a sheet pan,
really
spread it out,
vegetables.
and chuck. Yeah, you can spread it out and roast stuff along with your mushrooms. You can do all kinds of stuff. So marinades open up a whole world of happiness.
Yes, I was actually about to say that you can, I mean, it will slightly alter the flavor, obviously, but you can use a different type of vinegar. You can use different herb combinations. So like if you've got somebody coming who doesn't do garlic, which thankfully I have not today, so I could do garlic, yay. But if you do, then you could put something else on in instead of the garlic. If you don't want to use balsamic vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar, white wine vinegar, whatever, rice vinegar if you want. So just play around with combinations. If you can, then try it as is first time, but feel free to experiment later.
Next, we have Diane.
Hello, Diane.
Yeah, it occurred to me. Do you have any special techniques that you use for removing the stems from the mushrooms?
Take them between thumb and forefinger, slightly twist.
Okay.
All righty then. Okay, anybody else on either platform?
Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie?
Yeah. So how long do you? So how long do you do those mushrooms usually get cooked for?
Depends how you're cooking them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have to marinate in the refrigerator for at least an hour before you can cook them.
Oh wow.
And they can stay in the marinade for up to a week.
And then how you cook them
Oh, that's
depends
pretty
on how
good.
long, like, and also the temperature you put them in at. Because obviously, even if you use the same method, if you use a lower temperature, it's going to take longer to cook them.
Yeah.
So anywhere from 30 seconds up, depending on if you're using a microwave or a cooker or a grill or whatever.
Very amazing.
All right. Very good. And do we have any other hands?
I'll take that as a no.
I'll take that as a no too. All
So
right.
what were you going to ask me, Herbie? You went to ask me something and then we saw we had hands. Or did I already answer it?
Oh, I was gonna ask if you had any, which we've probably already talked about them now. I was gonna ask if you had any additional tips and tricks you wanted to mention.
Yeah, we discussed the things I was going to say about the mushroom burgers.
That's what I thought. Alrighty then. Well, in that case, we know at least one person is more concerned about the dessert. So let us satisfy the sweet tooth now and learn about strawberry clown pie. Wait a minute. That did not come out right.
Strawberry cloud pie?
Oh, strawberry cloud pie. Okay.
Not clown.
No.
Although I suppose you could arrange the strawberries on top to look like a smiley face and pretend it's a clown.
You could, just as long as there's no actual clowns in the pie, but... Yeah.
No, it's a completely clown-free pie.
All right,
yes.
That's good. All right, well, Heidi, take it away.
Okay, so what I was doing actually at the end was I was taking the lid from the graham cracker crust off of the pie itself. And now I am getting ready to
So can you
rinse
describe
the strawberries?
The container real quick? Can you describe like both the pie crust container and the strawberry container so that way people know what they are looking at if they attempt this by themselves?
Okay, so the pie container, it's a regular 8-inch round pie, and it's got tin foil on the bottom, like almost like a you can hear that. It's almost like a cupcake paper. And then on the other side, it's got a plastic insert so it keeps the crust clean. And there's a crimp around the top of the plastic cover, and you uncrimp all the way around the the cover, and then you can pull it off.
Very good, very good. All right.
And so the strawberry container that I have, I actually got 2 of them. They were 1 pound containers. They are about 4 inches from back to front and about 5 or 6 inches from left to right. And they're probably about 3 inches tall. And so what I'm actually doing right now is I'm taking some of the bigger strawberries that I can find, and I'm putting them aside for the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse off the strawberries. And then I am going to
Eat some of them. No, wait, that was just me.
No, that would be Smokey. And believe me, Smokey will probably make an appearance in here when I'm just about done, because that's the way that I work this, because he loves strawberries as well.
So you've got better willpower than me then. Some of my strawberries
Yeah,
did
kinda.
not make it into my pie.
Hey, there will probably be a few that will not make it. I can guarantee that. And so
we feel bad for the strawberries, and
I didn't.
And-
I felt very good eating them.
True. So now I'm just rinsing off the strawberries in a colander. Real quick. Shaking them a little bit. I'm actually going to put a paper towel down on the counter so that I can put the colander on top of it and not have the water that's still in them leak everywhere. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take off the green tops. And if you have an animal by chance that happens to like strawberry tops, you know, I know Tori's probably will.
Yeah, my tortoise is very, very happy today.
We have a couple of animals that like them too. So I actually have a small bowl that is actually going to be for strawberry tops. And then what you do is after you take the tops off, you very nicely will say, I'm going to take your top off and then I'm going to slice you up. And then you just slice up your strawberries and you are going to fill up your 8-inch pie crust with the strawberries. And so if there's any questions so far while I'm cutting up my strawberries. I'm guessing no.
Doesn't appear to be. I will.
Well, I guess right now it's talk amongst yourselves until.
Well, while you're doing that, then I will insert one of my tips here.
Yep.
So we do not actually have graham crackers pre-baked or otherwise here. So we tend to make bases like this using digestive biscuits, which in my case, of course, meant hunting for the kind of digestive biscuits that definitely do not contain any dairy, which, as it happened, are also coincidentally vegan friendly, despite usually gluten free. I mean, despite usually the fact that digestive biscuits are not. So mine is not only vegan friendly but also gluten free. My particular pie. So then you just crumble up the digestives, add some sugar and melted butter to those. Mix it all up really well, press it into a pie dish, and then put it in the fridge for at least an hour before you use it. And then you have your homemade version of the crust. which is also an option for other people to do if they are somewhere where they can usually get the graham cracker crust, but it's not coming in their groceries or whatever. And you don't have to use digestives. I have also known of it being done with ginger biscuits crumbled up, Oreos, whatever.
I have a couple more recipes that actually involve different kinds of crusts as well.
So let's, all right, sounds good. I think we do have a question over on the Clubhouse side of things before we move on, guys.
Awesome. Hello, person on Clubhouse.
Well, I don't see anybody. I don't see any hands raised over here on Clubhouse, but I'll take this time to remind you over here, if you do have a question, double tap that right hand corner button. It's the request to speak. Double tap that. We'll
I
bring
will
you up
bring
on
them
stage.
on stage, but
Tom, can I suggest do a 3-finger swipe down to refresh your page?
yep.
Yeah, okay,
I
I can
had
do
that
that
issue
too.
the other day.
Let me know if you still don't see them, and I will bring them up if you still don't see them. This is Tom's first time, guys. So, he is Tom Terrific.
Everybody's learning.
Exactly.
I'm
This
not
isn't-
seeing where it says raise hands. It doesn't show if any hands are raised, so I don't know if I'm missing something or not, but hopefully I'm
He
not.
has got moderator status, right?
I'll
Yep.
double check, but I think he does. Yeah, yeah, because he was able to move Chanel to the audience.
Oh
and
yeah,
so-
that's true. Okay.
But I did send them the invite to come up on stage, so let's see if that. Yep. All right, Nicole, you are up.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Herbie, and everyone else. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the crust idea because we don't have graham cracker crusts here. I'm joining today from South Africa, so I'm the one on the other side of the world. And I just wanted to thank you for that because I've always wondered when seeing recipes, what else can I use instead of graham crackers? And I've always stayed away from recipes that require them because of that. So I just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much. And the recipes really sound lovely.
You're very welcome. Yeah, basically any kind of biscuit crumbled up with butter and sugar.
Thank you.
So I wonder if I would have thought maybe I guess you could consider digestives an alternative to graham crackers, but wouldn't rich tea? Well, I guess they'd be harder to crumble, but they are more of a harder biscuit than the digestives.
They
which
are
more
also an
crumbly.
option. I did say any kind of biscuit, but they're
You
not
did.
an option for me because they're not vegan friendly. So
Okay.
I can't eat them.
All right. Very good.
They contain milk, so.
Yep. Well, they are rich.
We've got biscuits which will crumble quite nicely, which have some coconut in them, and I think that sounds like it might work for this.
It would, yes, that would be fantastic. Yes.
Yep. Well, then one of the things we definitely have here with Tori on the call is, I've done some British recipes and we've done American recipes, and between the two of us, we generally cover a lot of different aspects of the world and alternatives and things like that. So this is definitely the place to be for things like that.
Yeah, wherever possible, we try to give alternatives for if you can't get hold of something, if it's not going to be something widely available all over the world.
So, all right. Well, glad you were able to join us, Nicole, all the way from South Africa. Yes, indeed. So, all right. Do we have any other questions on the Zoom side?
We do not.
All right, then let's continue on with Heidi.
I am still cutting right now.
You're still cutting right now. So this is where Tori and we always make bad jokes and things like that. Or we will talk about other calls, such as the neighborhood coffee clutch next hour, which is happening, where you can have coffee with your strawberry cloud pie. Or how about Unmute Presents? A little bit later on, talking about technology. Do you want to learn about NVDA? That is tonight. The Unmute call is on Clubhouse, by the way, so make sure you subscribe to the ACB channel for all the simulcast calls we have going on if you're over on Clubhouse.
There's a bunch of other calls. Nancy's Nook is coming up in a couple hours as well. And then we've got a crafting call later if you want to do a safety pin jack-o'-lantern. There's a couple of language calls later on. And I believe today is Lucy's abacus call. I believe that's this week.
Yep.
It
Yeah, I
is.
thought it was. Yeah.
Where you can use the abacus to learn how all these calls add up. And they will add up to the number 10,000
That'll be
this
one of the bad
weekend.
jokes.
And just a quick reminder also to those of you on Clubhouse, not all our Zoom calls are on Clubhouse, but you can certainly join us on Zoom for the rest. And all you need to do is send an email to community@acb.org. Ask to be subscribed to their community list. Just give your name and email address. That's all they need. And you'll get added. And they usually send you that day's schedule as well. And they are very quick on the response. So we highly encourage
And they're
everybody
friendly
to do
people
that.
too.
What?
They're friendly people too.
Yeah, they are friendly
Very.
people. They're actually nicer than me. So,
We do have a question on Zoom.
all right.
That's good timing.
Ibrahim?
Hey, Abraham.
I wanted to know, I don't know if this is covered already because I missed a little bit. Can you use any other berries in this recipe?
Yes,
I have not yet. I am actually dying to try blueberry.
I think you could definitely use any kind of berry, blueberry, strawberry, blackberry even, if you wanted. I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
Or maybe canned fruit like canned peaches or
I
pineapple.
would stay away from the canned
Oh.
because they tend to be softer.
Okay.
And it wouldn't necessarily work quite as well. It would kind of get a bit mushy.
Attaboy.
Which on that subject, Heidi
Living room.
experimented with frozen and had that problem. So
Living
it's an
room.
option if you've got no other alternative, but go for fresh if you can.
Okay.
The problem with the frozen ones I found was that it came out really mushy.
Yeah, that's why I was
that
saying
was the problem I found with that. Living
That's
room,
why I
please.
was saying to also avoid the canned because they tend to be softer as well. And I think mushy as well. So if you have no other choice, your choice is you make a pie, or you use the canned, or you don't make a pie. Then by all means use the frozen or canned fruits. But I would personally recommend that you stick with fresh for the slightly firmer texture.
Okay. And I think the biscuits Nicole was referring to as tennis biscuits here in South Africa.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with the particular type of biscuit because it's obviously a different location, but as a general rule, I mean, I've seen the crusts like this done with ginger biscuits, Oreos, digestive biscuits, and a few other types. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't work. If you can crumble them up, add butter and sugar to them, and mix them and press them into a pie tin, and leave it so the butter firms up and they set, then they'll work.
Okay. Another thing is, I don't know if we get Cool Whip here. I have never heard of it.
It's just basically whipped cream stuff.
Okay, so can that be substituted?
Yes. So when we got to that part of the recipe, I was going to discuss stuff like that more.
Okay.
So stick around and I'll tell you about that.
Thank you.
Next we have Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
So,
Hello,
how
Stephanie.
much? How do you know how do you know how much strawberry you need to use for that?
What I do is I just fill the crust.
Basically,
and then
when you think it looks like enough.
Yeah, pretty much. And then what you're going to do, the next step is we're going to actually make the frosting to go over it. And you are not done with strawberries yet. But yeah, then after that, what you'll do is you'll cover the top of the frosting with another layer of sliced strawberries.
Good.
So yep, so my pie is filled. So are there any other questions before I move on to making the frosting for it?
Not in Zoom.
Clubhouse.
Okay. Now,
I don't seem to see anything, but this thing isn't letting me refresh. When I swipe down, it just goes boop.
Okay.
So I
Ibrahim
don't know what's
has
going on
a
here.
question in Zoom.
Okay, go ahead, Abraham.
Sorry, I forgot to ask. How are the strawberries being cut? From hull to tip, or what, horizontally?
left to right. Left to
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So you're just making slices like how would I
So
describe it?
technically, you could cut them however you want.
Right, exactly. That is, yeah, that's true. Technically, you can slice them any which way you want, just as long as they're
As long as they're
fairly thin pieces.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Doesn't appear so. So do you want to continue? Quick, before someone
Okay.
else raises their hand.
Okay, so the second part to this is the frosting. And actually, when I got up this morning, I actually took out my cream cheese and put it in a bowl. And then I covered it with a paper towel and put a microwave thingy on it and stuck it in the microwave so no bugs would get to it and it would soften up nicely. So you empty your cream cheese, your 8-ounce package of cream cheese, into a bowl. And then you do 2 to 3 drops of almond extract. I actually need to find one of my 1-ounce bottles with a dropper tip because that would be the easiest way for me. And so you do 2 drops of the almond extract and 2 to 3 drops of the food coloring. That is just going to more or less color the frosting a little bit to make it a little bit pink. When I did it with the frozen berries, we didn't have any, so I didn't even bother, and obviously it does not make a difference.
No, it's an appearance thing.
Yeah, that's mainly it. And so the next part is you're going to take a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I have a tub that's got a little handle thingy on it. I think it's like a 1 or 5 pound thing of sugar. And I'm just dipping my cup in it and taking my finger, which are clean, and I'm just scooping off the excess, not that that is going to matter too much, and dump it into your bowl of frosting ingredients. And then you're going to take a spoon and you are, where did I put that other piece? Okay, there it is.
You left.
Yeah, and that's where it was, Tori. I was like, wait, okay, where did my whipped cream go? I know I took it out of the fridge. So what you're gonna do is you're going to mix up the frosting at this point. Just so you mostly incorporate all of the sugar into it. The sugar and the almond extract, and it does smell delirious over here if I can say so myself. And I'm just kind of waiting until I really don't hear much sugar on the bottom of the bowl. That to me will tell me it is most of the way incorporated.
So while Heidi's doing that, since I seem to be giving tips as we go along instead, um, so I, being unable to have the cream cheese and unable to get hold of a vegan cream cheese that I don't absolutely hate, or more to the point that doesn't already have stuff added to it for flavor, which would not work for this recipe, because I don't think that garlic and herb would work here.
No.
So I have done it using silken tofu, because tofu is one of those things that what you add to it is what the flavor is. And if mixed up well with sweeter ingredients such as sugar, it will become a sweet thing, kind of like the cream cheese. You can make it into a savory or sweet thing depending on what you add to it. So my cream cheese substitute today is some silken tofu. And another thing to bear in mind is that if you have certain dietary restrictions, you might want to be careful about what red food coloring you use, because some of them do contain stuff that might be a problem for some people. So you want to double check ingredients for that, either with sighted assistance, with an app, or by looking on the site for wherever you get your groceries, just to make sure.
Okay. And considering we didn't have, when Nick went shopping, he didn't find any tubbed whipped cream. We are doing it with the aerosol version.
That's cheating.
And it's 1 cup. So I'm just holding it over my bowl and attempting to squirt it into the cup.
And in my
case, a little bit extra or whatever won't hurt it. And then you plop it into your cup and it falls right out generally.
A bit of extra ingredients don't hurt, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to put the whipped cream back in the fridge. Is my cat going nuts?
The cat says, "Don't put it back in the fridge."
Oh no, she's just running around, and you need to go in there with Daddy, girlfriend. Then you again mix up your frosting, which I will be doing in a second. And before it was kind of stiff, doughy feeling, and the whipped cream is actually going to loosen that up just a smidge, or a smidge and a half. Scraping around the edges and the bottom of the bowl.
And if you cannot or do not want to use whipped cream, then you can either use, like I am, use coconut cream and just whip that up a little bit. Just whisk it up a bit before you add it, and it becomes coconut whipped cream. You can also, you would have to take a look at how to do this, because I don't off the top of my head know how, but you can make cashew cream or almond cream if you so desire. You can also buy it in some places. So if you want a substitute, then that's another option if you don't have a nut problem. And there is also the option of using another kind of heavy cream. I wouldn't use like the single creams or anything, but some of the heavy creams, if you just whisk them up a little bit, would work if needs be.
Okay, so my frosting is done. If it's not totally 100% incorporated for the visual people, it doesn't matter. So now what I'm going to do is you're going to frost the pie with an offset spatula, and I put the bowl of frosting over the bowl or over the pie, and then I do a scoop into the bowl and drag out, and you do that until all of the frosting, yummy delicious frosting.
And if you are people like me and Herbie who find the addition of that extra tool to make things more difficult, just forget the spatula and use your fingers. Just make sure they're clean before you do it.
Yep. And then what I actually do after is I kind of go around it with my finger to make sure I've got as much of the frosting to the edges as I can. Sometimes it covers more of the strawberries than others, but after this, you're going to make sure that you cover the whipped cream with more strawberries. And after this, I have to wash my hands because they're frosting-y. So I'm saying that's
have a
good.
Zoom question for you if you'd like it.
Yes, please.
Abraham?
Go ahead, Abraham.
I'm not such a big fan of almond extract. Could I use vanilla instead?
I have not tried that particular switch, but I believe you probably could.
I don't see any reason why not.
Okay, and I was thinking instead of using red food coloring, could I not use a couple of tablespoons of strawberry jam or jelly,
Yes.
depending on where you are?
Yes, you could also a small amount of cooked beetroot would also work as a food coloring substitute.
Okay.
Just a very small amount mixed in with that would give it the pinky color you're looking for without using food coloring.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, I'm washing my hands real quick before I finish. And then you're going to go back to slicing strawberries. From this time, you are going to be placing them on top of your frosting. I generally try to do like a semicircle, but it really doesn't matter. Just as long as it's got strawberries on top.
I did a kind of ring around the edge and then put a few in the middle.
Yep. And then you cover it over with plastic wrap. And you refrigerate it for at least 2 hours, it says. And then you are free to enjoy.
So by it says, does the pie say this or the recipe? I mean,
The recipe that I got this a while ago, but for the life of me, I could not find the actual recipe. So I made it from my memory, and it tasted the exact same.
All right. That is good.
And I believe, Tori, you made one this morning.
I did, and I am just going to get it out of the fridge so that I can taste it.
All right, so do we get a live taste test or?
We do.
All right, well, stand by for that, folks. Also, quick reminder, we do have some other exciting calls happening today. Also, just to give you a flavor of what we got, how about Lively Latin? And I do believe we have our French call as well. So we have 3 foreign language calls in this community, guys. Spanish on Monday nights, which you now can find on Clubhouse, Lively Latin, and French on Tuesdays. So there you go.
And technically Braille.
And technically Braille, yes, a written language. We do have the Braille room with Liz, who you heard earlier, and ran by Liz and Dorlin, who was a guest on this call a couple of weeks ago, actually, talking about her experiences with Cooking Without Sight. And they have that at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. So, and also Sierra has her social hour right before that on Zoom, and she might have some good stuff for that. I've got my history class, but I don't think anybody's interested in that later today.
I don't know.
You never know.
It's a Rome. Well, I'm not teaching it, but it's a Rome from Republic to Empire. So that's what I'm doing a little bit later today. And oh yes, tomorrow another call that I'm running. Now you will not find this on Clubhouse, but accessible online games. And I am going to be showing everybody the Quinton's game room of Rummy. We're going to play one of the variants of that. There is like several different, like 5 or 6 different ways you can play the game. So I'm just going to pick one and do it that way. I mean, I could spend time on all of it if people like Rummy. So we hope you'll join us for that. And that's going to be at noon Eastern, 11 Central, and whatever it is, UK time. So that you all can figure it out. That's what your Lady A's are for, and whatever time zone you're in.
Noon Eastern is 5 p.m. UK time.
Okay, so right around dinner time, you can be playing games instead. So
Yeah, I'm sure my dogs would be really pleased if I did that.
I'm sure.
If I can jump in here just
You
for
can.
just half a second here, I seem to be having a problem with Clubhouse. It's not letting me refresh. If I do the swipe down, it just goes boop, and it's not letting me do anything. So if there's anybody that has raised hands, and it doesn't seem to be showing me that, so I apologize for that. I just wanted to throw that in there. Thank you.
All right, well, Nicole actually does have a raised hand, so I am going to bring her up on stage once again. And Nicole, once you're up, we will go ahead and take your question or comment.
Hi. Okay, it's me again. For the frosting,
Yep.
I don't have almond essence, but I wondered whether something like amaretto, which a liqueur, would work.
It should. Just do the
instead.
same. I would think just do the same amount, just like 2 drops.
Okay. All right, I'll try that. And then the strawberry jam you said, or preserve, that should work to color it a bit.
Yeah,
Right.
that
And-
or a
and
small
would you-
amount of beetroot.
And we don't do beetroot in this house. I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's
fine.
it's one thing that we don't.
Don't hold back. Tell us how
When
you
you
feel.
said that, I really, when you said that, I really cringed.
It's just an option. It's just an option.
Yeah, no, sure.
One
It
more
may
thing,
work
if
for
I
some.
go ahead.
And yes, it is tennis biscuits that I was talking about, by the way, that I wanted to use.
One technical question for Herbie. If I was to leave quietly and come back, will I still be right back where I was? I
You
got to
will
try and
be.
get this thing to do
Yes,
what
you
As
will.
Maxine Nightingale said, you'll be right back where you started from. Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
And while
Yeah,
Herbie
well,
does, while Tom does that, I have a bit of pie, so I'm going to have a taste.
All right.
And mine is going to take the whole 2 pounds, actually. Because I'm still slicing for the top and decorating.
Yeah, well, if I did mine this morning, which means it's even had a couple of hours in the fridge. So.
All right. Well, now let's see how things go for Twinkling Tori and the pie.
It tastes good.
All right. Well, very good.
If I do say so myself.
Excellent.
And I hope Artemis liked his strawberry tops.
Oh, he was very pleased with his strawberry tops.
And then after this, you're just going to cover it and you're going to stick it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. Slice and enjoy.
Excellent.
And this particular pie, I will let you know this little disclaimer. I'm not responsible for anybody that has this problem, but my boyfriend and I do. This pie only will last a matter of about 24 hours in this house.
Oh, that
Might
could be a
have a
problem.
little bit longer because my husband probably won't eat it as soon as I tell him what I use for the frosting.
So you might have it a little
Well,
longer.
what if you let him try it first and then tell him what you use for the frosting?
No, that
True.
won't work.
Okay.
Oh,
He's smart enough to know that if I made it, I've used some kind of substitute.
All
And the
right.
only thing that he will eat with
or
the
you leave it in
substitute
there
thing-
and you don't tell him, and he goes, this is pretty good. Not bad with tofu, huh?
The only thing that he will ever eat that I do vegan is he will eat my vegan brownies.
Okay. Well, that is good.
And the best
My
thing
dad has
about
a
it
sweet
is
tooth
that
also.
because he
I
won't
mean,
eat all the other stuff, I get to eat it to myself.
There you go.
All right.
My
so-
dad's a sweet tooth also. He's a very good
All
sweet
right,
tooth.
so very good. Remember, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and Monica will make sure that we know that you are awaiting us, and we will get to you. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We do have a little bit of under 15 minutes left, guys. It is currently 3 minutes past the hour, and so this is your final time for any final questions, comments before we wrap things up for the day. And just real quick, next week I will be back in the kitchen. Where the man belongs, I think, or something like that. I don't know how these things work. But
Oh my God, Herbie will be cooking on Herbie's cooking.
I
corner.
know I've been
Wow.
sloughing off here, guys. Actually,
We do have a question from Stephanie.
okay, Stephanie, I'll get to you in just one moment.
I like that joke that
All right,
you
hold
made
on.
about the strawberry.
Hold on. I said I will get to you in one moment. If you could please wait, that would be very much appreciated. Because I want to just quickly announce that next week, by request, I will be making chocolate chip cornflake cookies.
Chocolate chip crunch cookies.
Crunch cookies. Okay, that's what they're
Get
called.
it right.
Get it right. All right, I will get it right.
By next week, he will, Tori.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's hope for me. All right, Stephanie, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you said my name at first, and then I was really confused.
Well, you got to listen to everything I say, because that's what I was saying. Please, we'll get to you in just a moment. So, all right. Anyway, but it is your turn
Anyway.
now. So,
Yeah, I like that strawberry clown joke you had.
well, just as long as the clowns find it funny, I guess, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes, she's always clowning around.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Nick will be very happy because, for the most part, dinner is done tonight. Nick in this house is generally the cook.
Okay. So Nicole does have another question for us. So
I apparently am having dessert before dinner.
you are. You and Stephanie, you're really bad. I think.
Well, it's good to be bad sometimes.
All right. Well, very good. All right, Nicole, what have you got for us? Except you're not on stage yet. I thought I did send you the invite. I will send it again.
Technical difficulties.
Well, when you allow me on to the stage, then I can
Yes.
speak. I just want to ask you mentioned 8 ounces of cream cheese. Do you have any idea how that would convert to grams? Because
Yes,
we
200
don't
grams.
really work in ounces here. 200 grams.
Yep.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. No, that sounds, our tubs are normally about 230, so it's just about a full tub.
Yeah. For my tofu, when I was converting that, because the tofu, of course, comes in grams, and we do both here. When I was converting that, the tofu one is just over 200 grams, and I said, close enough. So.
Mm-hmm. And the cream cheese, you took it out earlier. How much earlier did you take it out? Was that to just allow it to soften up, or?
Yes, and actually mine could have used a little bit longer, but I ended up taking it out at 10 minutes to 8 this morning. So it had about 2.5 hours.
It
It
really
could
depends
have
on
used just a
the.
smidge more.
It really depends on the temperature in your house, though,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because like quite often, I know this isn't always the case, but quite often South Africa is going to have warmer temperatures than New Hampshire.
Yes. Tori hit it right on the head. I'm from a very unique place called New Hampshire.
This is interesting. I've never wheeled myself to that place. I can tell you that much. So.
It's really worth going. I'm sure.
Yes, it is.
All right. Very good. You learn something new every day, don't you?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have an assistant. I have a treat for my assistant who is going to end up putting the wrapping on my pie here. I have one strawberry left. So, but any other questions for those two?
Not in Zoom.
Well, I will say now you've suddenly, making strawberry shortcake also now sounds like a really good idea, and so I'm going to get my recipe for that and do that.
It would be a similar kind of idea to make the strawberry shortcake.
Yep. Except it does involve more baking because it's kind of like a biscuit type base.
Well, actually, the base that I do, you can do the strawberry shortcake. You make that base, and it's the same kind of effect as the strawberry shortcake, but without the need to bake.
Ah, very good. Okay, well, we will have to compare recipes. Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm glad we're whispering. I don't. The last strawberry is his.
No, I was telling Nick to cover the pie.
And you're saying the last strawberry is his, too. I heard you.
Yeah, we hear.
And the last strawberry is his.
Yes.
I get
The thing
one.
is, the problem with whispering when you've got a microphone near you is that people generally hear you anyway.
Yeah.
I was trying to be quiet about it.
It didn't work. Sorry.
It only works if you mute, Heidi.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you have really sensitive ears, boy, oh boy. I remember one time I picked up something over the conversation and the person involved really thought they were talking quietly. And I did not get that impression at all. So I don't know if it was just a misjudgment on their part or if I had like supersonic mode enabled.
I've done something like that. There was a conversation. The room was busy and quite noisy, and they thought they were talking quietly compared to everyone else. And I answered their question, and they're like, "How did you even hear that?" I'm like, "Well, you said it clearly enough for me to hear, so I answered it." And they weren't even talking to me, and they were like several seats away from where I was sat.
Yep. All right, guys.
Now I'm just stashing it in the pot in the fridge.
Very good.
There.
All right. So be sure to join us next week for chocolate chip crunch cookies. Also, yes. Also, be sure to join Courtney and get in the kitchen with her this Sunday as she is going to be making banana cake. And if you're on the ACB cooks list, you have an advanced ingredients list. If you're not,
that was sent out earlier.
Yep. If you are not part of the ACB cooks list, well, that can easily be fixed. Just send a blank email to acbcooks+subscribe at acblists.org. I think I got that right.
Yeah, and if that does not work for some reason, then email community@acb.org. Tell them you're having trouble, and they will put you on the list.
Yep. So I want to thank everybody who was here today. Zoom, Clubhouse, Media 5. My thanks to Tom Terrific. Thanks to Twinkling Tori. Thanks to Heidi for guest facilitating. Thanks to Monica for hosting in Zoom. Magnificent Monica and Tom Terrific. All right.
Thank you, Herbie, and I apologize for anybody that I didn't get to. Clubhouse doesn't seem to be, if I'm not doing something right, I don't know, but it doesn't.
No,
it wasn't showing what I needed to
Clubhouse
say.
did something similar to me the other day. You're fine, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, very good. And what else? Who else? I know we're forgetting somebody. Oh, Magnificent Monica and Tom Terrific. And then there's Monica's Tom, too. So I don't know what he is, but Monica knows.
And thanks, Herbie.
Yes, thank you to me. Anyway, if you
Well,
have
you can't thank yourself. It would be weird.
yeah, that would be weird.
True.
If you have any additional questions that we did not get to, feel free to email acbcooks@gmail.com and Courtney will forward it on to me. Also, I will take any requests for future recipes. If you'd like to guest facilitate, we have been doing that lately as well.
Although we are booked up until beginning of November.
Yep, we are booked up in the beginning of November. Just to give you an idea of what to expect, we've got chocolate chip crunch cookies, and then I think we have another one from the same book the following week.
No, the following week is the one the thing on grocery shopping
Okay,
online.
all right, that's what I'm
Then
thinking
it's the ginger Regency, the Regency ginger crisps. The following week.
Okay, very good. So we got that covered, and then we're going to be doing pumpkin pasties and also a call on coffee and tea. You know, I like coffee.
The
I
other way
like
around.
tea.
The coffee
Yes.
and tea first, and then the pumpkin.
Yes.
I'll just tell you what you're doing in your kitchen. Okay.
Yep. Thank you. All right. She's my organizer. She cracks the whip. So, anyway, so that's going what we've got all the way through October, and who knows what we've got after that. So, thank you everybody, and I'm gonna head on over to the coffee clutch, and I hope you will join me there for some.
I'm heading there too. In just
All
a few.
right. So. Monica and Tom, you may end the rooms, and we will see you all next week, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.